The battle for the DIY dollar stepped up a gear today with Woolworths opening its first Masters big box hardware store.
What happened when a powerful supermarket chain tried to take on an established hardware brand? You get a train wreck that cost $3 billion, plunging 10,000 workers into unemployment, and a Masters class in terrible business choices. Where did Woolworths Masters go wrong? Let's break it down. Don't forget to subscribe for more found and explained stories every week. You'll love what I'm cooking up next weekend. In 2009, Australia's Woolworths Limited teamed up with the American brand Lowe's to enter the Australian hardware market. To their eyes, there were only two competitors, a loose chain of small independent hardware stores and a single brand called Bunnings, owned by their rival Wesfarmers. Given the fact that the two companies already compete with each other amongst everything else, like groceries, department stores, fuel, and liquor, Woolworths thought, why the hell not?
Don't you just love competition?
The original plan was to develop in excess of 150 hardware stores within a 5-year period. Their new brand would be called Masters, and it would be different in the following ways. Their stores would be more brightly lit, more colourful with polished concrete floors, large colour signage and store displays. It also aimed to place more emphasis on attracting female shoppers. Masters also sold more non-hardware lines such as white goods, as well as having McDonald's restaurants inside the actual stores. Lastly, the brand specialised on always having staff available and being well trained. Certainly a recipe for success. Woolworths was so convinced with their magic touch, which had worked in supermarkets, that this hardware venture would be a cakewalk. They could not have been more wrong.
It's unlikely Masters will be as successful as Bunnings in the long term.
One of the main criticisms of the Masters brand was that they opened too many stores too fast. By 2011, they had 60 stores opened and had another 21 stores under construction, only 2 years after they began. Not only did they have so many locations, but Masters' locations themselves were huge. The average competitor, Bunnings stores, only had 8,000 square meters of space, but each Masters was on average 13,000 square meters. More land means more rent, and more rent is a cost that this new brand certainly couldn't pay. The brand had not yet become popular with customers, and they were already outspending the competition on locations. A retailer can choose quality sites, good value sites, or do it fast, but they can't do all three at once. In pursuit of their rapid rollout, Masters has chosen inferior locations, including some already rejected by Bunnings, and is rumoured in the property sector to be paying big prices. But that wasn't their biggest mistake. More stores means cheaper products through economies of scale. So Masters used its connections with the American Lowe's to order all of their products, using American products and simply bringing them to Australia. However, there are some pretty big differences between America's needs and Australia's needs. For example, Masters found themselves with an oversupply of gun safes. Australia does not have a gun culture, unlike America, and these oversized and heavy safes took up valuable floor space. In addition, remember how Masters was stocking white goods like washing machines and fridges? Australia already has a very competitive white goods sector, and Masters found itself also now competing with that. They even had too many other products, more than just basic hardware goods. we didn't have a deep enough range of some of our core categories, like hardware, garden care, or even power tools, said Masters in 2013. The brand was split over so many stores by this point that when they realized this mistake, it would cost them a fortune to reformat them and take out all the fridges. Only a few Masters stores ever completed this rollout. Lastly, Masters got their target market wrong. Now, I'm not being sexist when I say this, but statistically, most tradespeople are male. The Masters stores were bright, colourful, and designed to offer a softer, feminine touch to the world of DIY. This alienated the tradies who swapped rude jokes on construction sites and drank energy drinks. They wanted a place that was as manly as them, something that rival Bunnings had figured out with their look and feel warehouse design. This failed branding pushed its main revenue driver to the competition. In the end, the entire Masters venture ended up costing the company billions in exit fees, 10,000 workers lost their jobs, and Woolworths itself lost market share in the supermarket space, thanks to losing focus on their core business. As for the remaining Masters storefronts, they were turned into multi-tenant mini-malls that bunched several complementary brands together outside of the Woolworths portfolio. In 2016, Masters officially closed its doors and the brand vanished from the world. Ironically, only a year later would Bunnings suffer its own defeat when it tried to expand into the United Kingdom, making many of the same mistakes that its rival had only made a few years before. But that is a tale for another day. If you enjoyed this video, then subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section for what you would have done differently. Thanks for watching.